In this video, we will define and discuss the alphabetic principle, alphabetic knowledge, and ways to develop these skills in emergent literacy. This video was created by faculty in the Literacy Education Program at Appalachian State University. If you have additional questions, please reach out to Jenny McCurry at the email on the screen. The alphabetic principle is a critical understanding that there are systematic and predictable relationships between written letters and their spoken sounds. For example, a child who knows that the letter M represents the sound is demonstrating the alphabetic principle. As children learn about the alphabet, they build on their awareness of the relationship between spoken language and written language. They learn that print is used to represent the words that we speak, and they're able to name and quickly recognize letters. This is a crucial step toward learning to read. So, we've already defined the alphabetic principle as the understanding that there are systematic and predictable relationships between letters and sounds. But what you need to know is the child may not know those relationships yet. They know that they exist, but they may not understand or be familiar with all of the relationships just yet. So they know that these lines represent letters and that those letters make sounds or have sounds associated to them, but they may not know the letters or their sounds yet. Here are some of the most important things that students need to know regarding alphabet knowledge. They need to know the letter names. So A, B, and C, those are letter names. They need to know the shape of those letters, capitalized and lowercase, with different fonts and in different contexts. They need to be able to recognize the letters, form the letters. They need to be familiar with the shape of that letter. They also need to know the letter sound. So A is the letter name, but A is that letter sound. B is the letter name, B is the letter sound. The rate and the sequence of instruction here is important. For many years, lots of early literacy classrooms practiced a letter a week model where they stretched the alphabet out across an entire school year, teaching one letter per week. Now we know that students can definitely handle an accelerated rate so that they're learning these letters and they're acquiring this alphabet knowledge quicker and thereby able to do more and apply that knowledge in meaningful ways quicker. Again, here are the three things we want students to know about letters: their names, their sounds, and to have the ability to form those letters. And you'll see some different strategies or techniques that you could engage your students in to develop their alphabet knowledge. So teaching letter names, everyone's familiar with the alphabet song, but that actually is not quite as meaningful as perhaps using the letters that are in a child's name. You can utilize ABC books, point out letters in their environmental print, and practice with letter names. Different ways to teach letter formation are to use skywriting, so having their bodies up and moving and engages their brain in a different way. You should teach both upper and lowercase formation and recognition, and have them attend to the fact that different letters have different shapes, different types of lines or curves. They are different sizes. They are positioned on a lined piece of paper differently. And just being sure that you are explicitly teaching all of these things. Here are some visuals of different ways that you can engage your students in some meaningful practice that would help them to practice their letter recognition, their letter formation, and comparing the different shapes of letters. Make sure that you keep in mind that letters can be really, really tricky to children who don't know them. A lot of these letters look very similar or can be easily confused because if you flip it or turn it a certain way, it looks exactly like another letter. So keep that in mind when you are working with early learners. There are lots of helpful devices, such as the visual in the bottom right corner of your screen. B's and D's are a very, very common mistake for students. They reverse them because they are so similar. And so teaching them different tricks or perhaps providing a visual aid at their table or on their desk to help them with those easily confused letters. So here are some more visuals of ways that you can draw students' attention to the initial consonant sound in a word. In the middle, you'll see that they are working with all three different sounds in that CVC word sat. But in the others, they are working with just having the child attend to that first sound. Here are some visuals from a couple different fairly well-known phonics programs that you might see in the classroom. But yeah, phonics instruction is intended to make explicit the relationships between letters and sounds. So there are lots of programs that elementary schools and preschools will use that have stories or visuals that help the child remember the letter name, the shape, and the sound. So A, Annie Apple says ah, or B, Bouncy Ben says b. And these provide a foundation. It's not something that we want them to lean on or rely on long term, but it can be helpful for early learners.